The idea that your thoughts can influence your body may sound spiritual or philosophical, but science now backs it with compelling evidence. This is the science of the mind-body connection, and it's transforming how we think about health, healing, and even longevity. Let's start with something simple. Have you ever felt sick to your stomach before an exam or a big event, or felt your heart race during a stressful conversation? These are classic examples of the mind-body connection in action. Your brain perceives a situation as threatening or emotionally charged, and your body reacts immediately, even though there is no physical danger. But how deep does this connection go? Let's explore. Your brain is not an isolated control center. It's in constant communication with every system in your body. This happens primarily through the nervous system, immune system, and endocrine system. The autonomic nervous system, which includes the sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest branches, responds to your thoughts and emotions. Chronic stress, for example, can keep your body locked in a sympathetic state. This leads to elevated heart rate, suppressed digestion, increased inflammation, and even weakened immune responses. That's not all. Your endocrine system, which produces hormones, is also deeply affected by your mental state. High levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, can impair sleep, increase belly fat, and raise the risk for heart disease. Meanwhile, neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, often called the feel-good chemicals, influence not just mood but digestion, pain perception, and immunity. That's why people with chronic depression often suffer from other physical ailments too, because the body and mind are not separate systems. One of the most powerful demonstrations of the mind-body connection is the placebo effect. When patients believe they are receiving a real treatment, even if it's just a sugar pill, their symptoms often improve. This isn't imagination. Studies show real biochemical changes in the brain and body when belief and expectation are activated. On the flip side, the nocebo effect occurs when negative expectations cause symptoms to worsen. In one study, patients who were told a pill might cause nausea reported nausea, even when the pill was inert. Your beliefs can literally create or relieve suffering. That's not magic, it's neuroscience. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience. Practices like meditation, breathwork, and mindful movement can physically change the structure and function of your brain. Regular mindfulness meditation has been shown to shrink the amygdala, the brain's fear center, and strengthen the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and self-regulation. This shift helps reduce anxiety, increase resilience, and even lower blood pressure. Moreover, practicing gratitude or compassion consistently has measurable effects on heart rate variability, immune response, and inflammation markers. This means your mental habits are literally sculpting your body's internal environment. Long-term stress is one of the most damaging influences on health. It disrupts hormonal balance, impairs the immune system, and contributes to nearly every major chronic illness: heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, even cancer progression. When your body is under constant threat, real or imagined, it prioritizes survival over healing. Blood flow is diverted from your organs to your muscles. Digestion slows. Reproductive function is suppressed. Wounds heal slower. Inflammation skyrockets. This is why addressing mental health isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for physical health. Healing often begins in the mind. Emotions like joy, hope, love, and purpose do more than feel good. They promote real healing. Laughter boosts immune function and reduces pain. Optimism is linked to lower rates of heart disease and longer life expectancy. Social connection, feeling supported and loved, reduces the risk of mortality more than quitting smoking or exercising regularly. Even how you talk to yourself matters. People who practice self-compassion and positive self-talk have lower rates of depression, better immune responses, and faster recovery from illness. The gut is often called your second brain for good reason. It contains over 100 million neurons and produces more than 90% of the body's serotonin. What you eat affects your mood, and vice versa. Chronic stress can disrupt your gut microbiome, leading to digestive issues, weakened immunity, and mood disorders. Conversely, healing your gut through diet, sleep, and stress reduction can enhance mental clarity, energy, and overall well-being. So what can you do with this knowledge? Practice daily mindfulness, even for just 10 minutes. Prioritize sleep, as it's when the brain and body heal and detoxify. Move your body in ways that you enjoy, not just for fitness, but for emotional release. replace negative self-talk with curiosity and kindness. Surround yourself with supportive, uplifting people. Reduce media and inputs that trigger anxiety or anger. Keep a gratitude journal to train your brain to notice what's going well. Healing isn't always about pills or procedures. Often it's about shifting how we think, feel, and relate to our own bodies. The mind-body connection becomes even more powerful when I explore how unresolved trauma, emotional suppression, and chronic negative thought patterns show up physically. Decades of research now confirm that emotional pain is not just metaphorical. It's stored within the tissues, cells, and systems of the body. When my brain experiences emotional trauma, whether it's from childhood neglect, loss, abuse, or even repeated microstressors, it doesn't always resolve these memories in a clean, conscious way. Instead, these unprocessed experiences become embedded in my nervous system. This leads to chronic dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system, and a body that remains stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses, even when there's no current threat. This constant state of physiological hypervigilance is exhausting. It wears down my immune system, raises inflammation, disrupts digestion, and increases vulnerability to disease. What I call autoimmune disorders, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and irritable bowel syndrome often have emotional roots that modern medicine tends to overlook. Suppressed emotions, especially those I'm taught to deny, like anger, grief, or fear, don't vanish. They fester. When I repress what I feel, my nervous system tightens, muscles tense, and blood flow changes. Over time, this can contribute to chronic pain conditions, migraines, high blood pressure, and even heart disease. Psychoneuroimmunology, a growing field in science, explores how psychological processes influence the nervous and immune systems. Findings show that individuals with high emotional awareness and expressive ability tend to recover faster from illnesses and injuries. In contrast, those who suppress emotions often have higher cortisol levels, lower natural killer cell activity, and greater susceptibility to inflammation-related diseases. Somatic therapies have emerged as effective healing modalities precisely because they recognize that the body holds unprocessed emotion. Techniques like somatic experiencing, breathwork, EMDR, and trauma-informed yoga help the nervous system reset and restore a sense of safety in the body. Another critical piece is body posture and muscular memory. I think about how someone depressed holds themselves, slouched shoulders, shallow breathing, downward gaze. Over time, this posture reinforces the mood. On the flip side, standing tall, opening the chest, and breathing deeply can help lift mood and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and healing. Even language matters. When I say things like "I feel broken," I'm carrying a heavy burden, or "I can't stomach this." I'm revealing the exact places in the body where emotion is being somatically experienced. Paying attention to these metaphors can give clues to where healing needs to occur. Sleep disturbances are another major indicator of an overwhelmed nervous system. Many people lie awake at night because their body is still trapped in a hyper-alert state from the day's stressors. Chronic sleep deprivation then feeds back into the cycle, impairing cognitive function, hormone balance, immune defense, and emotional resilience. There is no true separation between emotional healing and physical healing. When I allow myself to feel what I've suppressed, when I make space for grief, anger, fear, or shame to move through me safely, the body responds with relief. Muscles unclench, digestion improves, immune response normalizes, and chronic symptoms often begin to resolve. This isn't about avoiding negative emotions or forcing positivity. It's about creating safety for the nervous system to release stored pain and return to balance. It's about learning to feel rather than suppress, to express rather than internalize. Creating a daily emotional hygiene practice can be just as powerful as a physical health routine. Journaling, mindful breathing, shaking the body, screaming into a pillow, crying, art making. These are not just therapeutic exercises, but biological releases. They help move energy that would otherwise stagnate in your system and manifest as illness. When I finally realized that my body isn't betraying me but simply trying to protect me by expressing what hasn't been spoken, healing takes on a whole new dimension. Belief is more than just hope. It's a biological signal that can trigger real measurable changes in the brain and body. Emerging research in fields like quantum biology and psychoneuroimmunology suggests that what we believe about our health, our future, and our capacity to heal can influence gene expression, immune strength, and cellular repair. This is more than just placebo. It's the reality of how consciousness and biology interact. Let's take gene expression as an example. Your DNA is not your destiny. The field of epigenetics reveals that environmental inputs, including stress, nutrition, sleep, relationships, and mindset, can turn genes on or off. This means that your thoughts and behaviors can influence whether disease-promoting genes are activated or silenced. One compelling study showed that breast cancer patients who participated in weekly mindfulness and emotional expression sessions had significantly longer telomeres, protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with stress and aging. In other words, cultivating emotional well-being slowed down their biological aging. Another groundbreaking area is heart-brain coherence. The HeartMath Institute has shown that when people generate sustained positive emotions, such as appreciation, compassion, or gratitude, their heart rhythm becomes more coherent. This in turn signals the brain to shift into a more balanced, healing state. Coherence improves mental clarity, immune function, and even decision-making. Intentional practices like visualization and affirmations are not just motivational, they're somatic tools. Visualizing healing, strength, or wellness stimulates the same neural pathways as if the body were actually experiencing those states. High-performing athletes have used visualization for decades to enhance physical performance. That same technique can be applied to healing. Even more intriguingly, biofield science, the study of the body's electromagnetic energy, suggests that our cells emit and respond to subtle energy fields. This may explain why practices like acupuncture, Reiki, Qigong, and energy healing have shown positive results in pain relief, anxiety reduction, and even post-operative recovery. It's important to note that these approaches are not replacements for conventional medicine, but they are powerful complements. Combining lifestyle medicine with conscious, belief-driven practices can accelerate recovery and restore balance more completely than either alone. There's also power in community healing. When people gather to support one another emotionally, the collective energy amplifies healing outcomes. This has been observed in cancer recovery groups, grief circles, meditation communities, and faith-based healing gatherings. Shared emotion, shared intention, and shared presence create a resonance that nourishes both the body and the soul. When we connect with something greater, whether through prayer, meditation, nature, or a sense of purpose, the body responds. Spiritual connection activates parts of the brain associated with meaning, safety, and joy. This shifts the body out of survival mode and into a state of healing. It's time we stop thinking of the mind and body as separate machines and start honoring them as one integrated system, sensitive, intelligent, and profoundly capable of renewal. Whether it's through releasing trauma, practicing mindfulness, building emotional resilience, or anchoring belief in your capacity to heal, the science is clear. Your body is listening. The choices you make with your mind ripple through your biology. The stories you tell yourself become the blueprint your cells respond to. And every act of awareness, compassion, and intention rewrites the script of your health. If this insight resonates with you, take a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect on what your body might be trying to tell you right now. What emotion needs space? What belief needs upgrading? What story are you ready to release? And if you found value in this video, consider subscribing to Live Healthy every day for more deep dives into the power of healing, neuroscience, and holistic wellness. Leave a comment to share your experience or ask a question. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow for future videos that help you live fully, feel deeply, and heal completely.